Let's see what Super Clean sent us now. I know this direction's up. Oh, we got a new hat. Oh boy. Yeah, my other hat's pretty trashed. Foaming cleaning spray. Foaming squirt bottle spray. And the Tougher Task version. Nice. Cool. We're going to use them today. We're not here just to do Super Clean unboxing. We are here to spend a day on flat rate, making it work. I'm Jimmy if you're new. Thanks for tuning in. So glad you did. Just here getting the shop open about 7 in the morning. The other guys will be rolling in here shortly. In the meantime, we'll get some lights flipped on and get this professional studio set open. Some people think it's a repair shop. It's actually a studio set. We also do some repairs. I mean, we got to keep the world moving somehow. Hope you guys had a great weekend. I know I did. Got a lot done. Got toilets fixed, closet doors hung, shower hard water filter replaced, cut the grass, did some grass seed, worked on the pool. Finally, I get back to work, I can relax. I think we're going to be doing the evaporator on that Lexus today. I'm not positive yet, but we'll see. Let's finish getting this place open up. Let's stop flapping the trap. Let's see what we can do today to keep the world moving, learn some things, and have some fun. What do you say? Stay tuned. Alright, pull these two plastic covers off. This plastic cover, get that plastic cover. We can get to the wiper cowl a little bit. He said this got to be done today on Friday, but today I told him it's not going to be done today. Looking at the procedure, they want you to blow the whole dash apart, steering column, steering wheel, the wiper cowl, everything's got to come out. Then you can get to the HVAC box, disassemble that, replace the evaporator, and start putting it back together. The labor guide says 5.9 hours, but the procedure says 10 or 12 hours. So, we'll see what happens. I said it's not going to be done today. I said I'm hoping that I can finish it by the end of Tuesday. Not up to me. Like a lot of things. Just gonna do what I have to do. Get her done. Disconnect the battery. Give the airbags time to discharge. Oh, that wasn't terribly tight. I wondered why they even want you to take the wiper cowl off. I gotta go over the procedure one more time. Oh, the battery hold down is held with a tie wrap. There's a couple tie wraps here. It said something about removing the wiper cowl, but I'm not seeing why you would need to. I can see the heater hoses right here and stuff. The expansion block is over on the other side. It's kind of strange why they want you to take the wiper cowl off, unless these tricky sons of guns have some bolts for the dash hidden in there. That's very possible. I know there's bolts hidden right here. Matter of fact, I wouldn't even call that hidden. And of course they want you to take the center console out and all that stuff too. Probably should have moved the seats back before I disconnected the battery. That'll happen. I've been looking around for shortcuts, trying to see if I could find a shortcut to get things in and out, and making sure about the wiper cowl. I didn't see anything about any bolts in here, but it wants you to strip all that out, wiper motor and all that. I don't know why. I never got to a point where there was a bolt, unless, oh wait a second, never mind. I'm just seeing it now. That's what this big magnified pickerashore is. There's one bolt over the steering column from the wiper cowl side. Okay, that's what I wanted to make sure. Live. So that all's got to come out for one bolt. And the wiring harness apparently doesn't detach easily. Although I would suspect when they build these cars, they put that dash in as one piece and then plug in a couple of main connectors, you know, sometimes 6, 8, but a lot different than detach the 27 clamps and disconnect the electrical connectors. And the other thing is there's some bolts going from that metal brace to the HVAC case. So I think they have you separate it all in the car, because it's easier if you, on the workbench, you'd have to take all the plastic off the dash to get to the bolts that go from the front. And there's only one bolt after all this is off to get the case off the firewall. So I'm guessing this goes in the car with the HVAC case and dash as one piece. And since you have to disassemble it all to separate the HVAC case, they just have you do it in the car before you pull it apart. So I'm procrastinating. That's basically what's happening. A couple wiper arms. And there's a bunch of leaves in here, but rather than blowing them out, having them all going in the car, I'm just going to take it out and disconnect them. Disconnect the oak leaves from the wiper cowl separately. Well, I'm going to walk these out to the back of the car. I don't like stepping over stuff, you guys might know. Oh, look at this. Those are snap-on pliers. I just found them sitting here. Free tools. It's Free Tool Monday. As a matter of fact, I got to get that. Only one person contacted me about the scope, so I was going to send it to him. I just haven't had a chance. I apologize. But I've got his address. Uh-oh. That's why they want you to pull all this molding off of here, so you can get this out from under it, I suppose. I guess I should have taken you out. Don't hit your head, careful. I guess you should have taken the leaves out, huh? Alright. You always have to have a plan, and sometimes you have to have a backup plan. Well, that's cool. Last week, supposedly it had a leak so slight that they couldn't find it. And this week it's empty, so not even a pound. They lost all the refrigerant in 5 or 6 days. We'll get it. Got the AC lines discombobulated. Heater hoses blowing a little coolant out of here. Make sure it doesn't make a mess in the car. That's about it. It's probably not 100% empty, but we got 90% of it out. Where else are we at? I think that's about it out here. I'm gonna leave that one bolt in here, so when everything else is out, that last bolt will be holding it, at least for now. That's unless I change my mind. The interior stuff. The shift knob just unscrews, and you can get this plate off. There's an awful lot of things that just snap together. Everything pops in and snaps in like Legos. Look at this. Some Phillips screws here and there you gotta watch for. Electrical tabs. Just squeeze them together and pop it out of the plastic. Not too bad really, but there's a lot of stuff to do, I'll tell you what. It almost looks like woods in the mirror, huh? But it's not, it's delaminating, I guess. I can keep some of this stuff in here. The seats don't have to come out on this. I don't think it has ducts that go under the floors and stuff. Those are the ones you have to take the seats out for. A couple of bolts in the back of the console. And there'll be some bolts once we get this trim out of here. We can get the console out of the way and get to some bolts. But I looked for shortcuts, like I said, in the procedure. I couldn't find any. I'm wondering if I get it all apart, I'll find something I could have probably done different, but we'll see. It's the first time I've done one of these, at least the first time I can remember doing one. Whoa, fast and furious, guys, wherever you're at. Yeah, so that's where we're at. I'm gonna pull this out. This is all add-on aftermarket goodies. I don't think it even fits in this, because this is, yeah. Might have to take this cap off, push the release to get this into neutral like I should have done before I discombobulated the battery. Pop this out of there, open the back, and it just all unsnaps. But now you got to get these electrical connectors, and you got to get past the coffee and donuts and stuff. But I think it'll fit out of there. Focus. Is it on the other side? Is that why I'm having a hard time? Oh, look at that. Facing this way. I knew it was easy. Let's see what's next. I don't even know what's next. I think these screws and this side trim will come off of here. I can probably get the console out of my way. Once you pop these screws out of there, it looks like it comes right out. It's easy. Apparently there's a couple of console bolts down here. I'm like, what the heck else is holding it? Under this little snapper-doodle covered type deal is 4 connectors go into this thing. Because it's got the heated seats and a couple other things on it. So my job, should I choose to accept it, is to hold the camera with one hand and disconnect these with the other. Just want to see if I could do it. 2 of those. Should be getting loose now. Oh yeah. I couldn't even leave it like that, so I smashed my head on it a few times. Sounds like fun. These go to the console cover. Now I think I could probably take this air duct out of my way. I got carpeting. Gotta get this carpeting out of here so I can get to these bolts, I guess. Some stuff under there. Get this little push pin out. Oh, there's another one. I couldn't even see it. There wasn't any coffee. Normally there's some coffee or something to mark that identifiers for you. Oh, look. Free nickel. This is why every time you spill something on your car, you really need to get after it and try to clean it up the best you can. You know, like I always keep napkins in my doors. I spill something, I'm immediately trying to soap it up because I've seen this too much with coffee and soda all dripping down on. And there's airbag modules and all kinds of expensive goodies in here. The next thing, if I can find the Torx, is a T30 in here, 1 on each side. If I can find it. Ow! Watch your head on the shifter handle. That's alright. A little bit of blood, don't hurt anybody that I know of. I haven't been to the doctor in a while. Tried to go. Some of you might know I tried to go to the doctor. They wouldn't let me. So I don't know if my blood will hurt anybody. Maybe it will. I had the battery disconnected now about, I guess about an hour. I didn't look at the clock, but it sort of feels like 4 hours actually, but I know it's not that much. A couple of airbag connectors. These kind of lock these little yellow push deals. And even though I know this isn't live, I'm still trying not to bridge terminals or anything weird, just in case. There's a capacitor that stores energy in the airbag, so if it loses battery voltage, it can power itself for a few seconds. After, as an impact happens, the battery gets destroyed, and that half a second, a tenth of a second, a fraction of a second, whatever it is, it needs some kind of energy, its own energy source to deploy. So when you've had the battery disconnected a while, supposedly those capacitors deplete their energy trying to stay awake. I know one thing's for sure. We're almost ready to pull the steering wheel off. Looks like a 19 or it could be a 21. My eyes deceive me a lot lately. This yellow cable will stay on the clock spring, and the steering wheel connectors will pull out of it to come off with the steering wheel. You get a puller and pull it off. Sometimes you can rock them and pop them off. I've said before, if you haven't seen those videos, make sure you put this nut back on a couple turns if you're going to try to force it off, because when it comes off, it comes off. It is a 19 after all. I'm gonna give it a little tug just to see. You save yourself a lot of work grabbing a puller and setting all that up. Now, I think the only reason for taking this all off of here is to get some of the electrical connectors out, so you can pull the plastic and the dash cage out unimpeded by wiring harnesses, but I'm not sure. And I know there's probably a bunch of Lexus mechanics right now going, what are you doing? You don't have to do that. But, you know, if you do it all the time, you know. If you don't do it all the time, you got to figure it out. They said they're going to get me 2 extra hours now, so I'm at like 8 hours on this thing, man. It's gravy money. If I can finish it by Tuesday afternoon, it'll be good. My best day in the past couple of weeks was 24 hours in one day. And this job will pay 8 hours plus the evac and recharge, so 9 hours, 9.5 hours, and it'll probably take 2 days. It's kind of the opposite, but you take the good with the bad. You make lots of money when you can. You make very little money when you have to. There's not much you can do about it, really. You can cry about it to your viewers. That's about it. You gotta start your own YouTube channel for that, though. But I have to hook up the battery now to get this plastic off of here. That's what I'm wondering. Nope, got it. We got it. Just the threat of crying, and it came apart. I think this cluster has to come off too. Now I definitely have to lower the steering column. I don't have to do it electrically. I think that I can, since I got it unbolted anyway. My plan is to unbolt it and kind of set it on the floor mat and leave the steering shaft connected, so I don't have to worry about the clock spring, although this already turned a little bit, huh? You don't want to do that. The airbag connectors are a little different. A lot of times they want you to push it in and pull it out and all kinds of weird, cool stuff. And I can't see it, so I have to go look it up, probably. Whoa, what the heck? How many connectors do I need to take this off of? It goes from itself to itself, or it goes from the left to the right so they can communicate or do something that they, like a job they share, I'm supposing. There you go. Felt like something happened. I can't even see it. I'm just kind of poking around trying to figure it out. Probably saved a lot of time if I'd have bent over, but I don't feel like it. Oh, it hits this one. Okay. I see. It was disconnected. It just wasn't free to leave yet. I'll edit that out. Don't worry. Nobody wants to see that. I feel the lock tab release going. Gotta unlock it twice. Okay. Did it. Consider it a win. All right. Airbag. They call it a knee bag. And also, you guys know too, for those of you who haven't seen a video where I'm doing this kind of work, every airbag you take out, it has an ejection side and a bracket. So you don't ever want the ejection side or the pad or airbag side facing down and the metal facing up, because somehow you get static electricity, who knows what, and that thing pops. It shoots the airbag up into the air. If you have the bracket down and the airbag up, the airbag just goes poof, and it doesn't get become a projectile. So always keep that in mind when you're setting your parts down. Like I'm using the back of the car with fender covers on it. I'll show you that in a minute. Just to keep stuff, you know, out of harm's way. This is a similar connector to the steering wheel. Now you don't set it down like that, because this thing's gonna go. Set it down like that. That's why I'm using fender covers and stuff, because it's metal brackets and all that. Put some tape on that, kind of minimize the silliness. Got my 14s for the steering column. I think there's 4 of them. Some of them are blocked by the motor. There it is, found it. Ready? I gotta watch for wiring connectors. I don't want to damage anything. So now I can see there's a few connectors that have to come loose. This dash is hanging on by a thread. Steering column's hanging on by a thread. I'm just going to unload it and take it out. I don't have my mic on, so why am I talking? I just had someone come over to me. I'm under here getting the steering column out, doing connectors and stuff. I hear hello, 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 hello. He's trying to give me auto parts. Now that ought to hold the column and that, I would hope, to some degree, but we'll see. That's a pro tip though. If you walk up to a shop delivering something and you see someone under a dashboard holding parts up and wiring and things, either wait patiently or go look for the office. Probably even the best option, huh? There's some stuff. This is what we're trying to get to, by the way. That's where the evaporator is, in there somewhere. Little by little. These are all the hidden bolts we're trying to get get the plastic off. Now, like I said earlier too, I know a lot of people are going to say, take the whole dash out in one piece. The problem is the dash goes in with the HVAC attached to it, and to get to all the bolts that attach it to it from the back, you got to take all this off the front either way. Whether you do it out of the car or in the car, doesn't matter. The 5.9 hours in the labor guide includes taking all that apart either way. So now I'm sure there's a couple things I could have done a little bit different. There's 2 bolts on each side of this. I think one under here and one here to get this out. Bunch of connectors. It's out, I just haven't lifted it out of the car yet. I've got to get the cluster out. I think there's 1 bolt under that. There's a connector. The surround has that cool LED glow. That's the connector for that. So we're getting there. We just ain't got it yet, as Rob Bob would say. Once these 4 wood screws are out that go around the outside of the cluster, that's a 10mm bolt we're after. Try to keep all that stuff together, but you know, it's piling up, so we're gonna get it. This is a plastic push pin retainer, and there's little 4 clips at the top of the dash, and there's probably another clip or 2 I'm missing. A bolt or 2 I'm missing somewheres, and once I find those, we'll try lifting this plastic off of here. Well, there's some kind of huge connectors in here that have to come out, it looks like. Get this out of here. Airbag's disconnected. I think the airbag can stay on the dash. It says something about removing that too, but if you look at it, it floats with the dash. It's not plugged in electrically to the harness. That's going to stay on this is the tubing that we have to take out after the plastic's out of the way. Now, I'm guessing most of these electrical connectors are how they probably install this dash, plug in the electrical connectors, put the 6 screws in the glove box, and off they go. Actually, this airbag, I took this airbag out before you can get to the screws for the glove box. One of them is blocked by the airbag. So if they assembled it in the factory like that, that's kind of unusual, but hey, they do what they can, right? They do what they must, just like the mechanic does when it's broken. 20 years old, I guess you can only expect it to go so long. It says to take this out too, but again, I think the only reason to take it out, you probably have to do it to free this connector up so it'll fit through here. And these are just giant bus connectors, it looks like. That's super sketchy. That's why they got it tucked up under the dash where it can't get moisture and nasty stuff in it to cause problems, because if you got problems in there, you have to send that over to Pine Hollow. Or you can just put 0.5 in the labor guide for fixing it, that's all. It's cheap, that doesn't cost a lot. Quit complaining. I think there's going to be some more stuff to disconnect. I'm pulling this away to see what else is in there. What other treasures await? This has to get discombobulated, I suppose. I think that goes to, I think these these ducts are, what are they called? Circulating duct? I'm not sure if it has it, but maybe. Why else there'd be an electrical plug going up in the dash that's not airbag related? Maybe an ambient temp sensor, I don't know. I don't really care either, to tell you the truth. Remember that RAV4 from last week? Had the noise in park and neutral. I could never hear it do anything. She came back, she said, it's still making the noise. It wasn't the airbox. I said, okay, you still hear something. But they had, I looked at it with Jace a little bit. Got broken exhaust pipe. And sometimes it would hang just right and not touch anything. And sometimes it would move and rattle on the rear cross member. Very rusty underneath, and someone's already patched it. And the patches are rotted, so. You're caught up. I brought you over here because I'm going to show you, this is a little silly. You got to pull, there's a connector here. You got to pull it out of this hole up here. Pull it into here. See it? And that goes up to the vent here, the gray one. And this I just have to get out of the hole because it stays in the car. And I figured not only can I tell you about it, I can also have it on video to remember when I go back together. In case I forget. Who am I kidding? I never forget anything. Almost anything. The button, push button, does have to be disconnected too. There's a connector for that in here. Not this one. Another one in here somewhere. There it is. I think this is it right here. Goes to the push button from the back. We're just about ready to lift this dash out, I think. This duct is clipped from underneath to the metal bracket, and the metal bracket is screwed backwards with Phillips screws, so I'm guessing that stays together, which is good. It'll keep it from wobbling and cracking across here and stuff. When this car is a little older, nope. There is a connector for this. Obviously stays in the car, and it's connected from the back, which is cool, you know. If it was connected from the front, you probably could pull it off without disassembling all this. But we had to do. The speaker grill didn't make it too good. Is the other part of it. That's what happens. I mean, the car's getting old. Stuff will break. But anywho, I think we're really close to coming out of here now. I don't see anything else moving or connected. Pull the ambient air temp. The sensor clips into this square. You got that already. I don't see anything for this. Maybe there is though. Yep, I see a. Yep, there it is. I got to get this wiring off of here too. Then I can lift it out. It's not that heavy, but it's real awkward. Some of the plastic clips for the dash stayed on the car and so did it. Knocking my fan all over the place. Do what you want, but lay off my blue suede shoes. That's what I'm saying. Kids don't even know where that song comes from. I'm kind of young for that, but my mom was a big fan. So anyways, we got some stuff. We got some things. Now it says something about 27 push tabs to get the harness off the tube. See, this is what I'm saying. I know people are going to be in the comments. I'm an expert. I've done so many of these. Blah, 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 blah. Well, when I get it completely off, maybe I'll see two, but for now all I can see is a bolt, a bolt, a bolt, and I think there's a couple other bolts, but those are probably accessible without taking the dash off. But all of those bolts have to come out, and once you get this metal frame out, there's basically like one bolt under here holding this to the firewall. So basically when they build this, I guess I've explained it enough, but I want to be clear. When they build this in the factory, all this stuff is together. It goes in the car, and they put the one bolt on the firewall at the bottom, plug in some of these electrical connectors, and off they go, right? So you got to take all that off, in or out of the car. I won't say it again. So just for the people I know that are going to be anxious to tell me I didn't need to do all that, but in reality, you do have to do all that one way or another, unless if I get this off and I see I can sneak the evaporator out of a slot or something back there, then I could have laid it back and pulled the evaporator out. Then I'll be sad if that's the case, but I don't suspect it is. That is one of the cooler connectors of all. Tucks under here, goes on this bracket that you can't get out. So what I did is I used my hose tool, pull one this way, pull the wiring harness that way, and when I put it back together, I'll try to slip the green tape over that push bracket. It's kind of like these. You can't get it out back here. That's why it's designed to come out in one piece and then be disassembled on a workbench. So that's why you can't get to that, like, basically at all. I had to pull that foam up, and it's not going to make the editing floor. Let's just say it'll be on the floor, because it's not family friendly. I'm getting my push pins out of here, and I'm getting close. I got a couple more. This has got to come off, and they go into a sealed tube. There's no way to release them gently. You just basically force them out and hope they don't come apart too bad, that you can reuse them, right? Because ideally all this stuff's supposed to be held in place to avoid noises and stuff. No gentle way to do it. Just keep going around pulling stuff off. It didn't break. Most of them aren't breaking. I mean, they're not happy about the whole ordeal, but they're not blowing apart. They'll work going back together. And once that's off, I got the bolt out of here. I got to take those two 10s, take the A-pillar. There's 3 bolts on each side. I think those are T40s, and one of them is different. This one's different for some reason, or non-existent. There's only 2 on the passenger side. That's what it is. It's 3 on the driver's side, probably because of the steering column and stuff. And then you kind of lift it off the box from here. You lift this pipe up, kind of pull it out from under the wiring harness. Installation is the reverse of removal. Got my pliers. I know you want to help. Just trying to get enough slack in this harness. Hope these all plug in one way. It's going to be a bear if it doesn't. I pulled these out of here. I don't think I have to, but just trying to get some slack in the harness so I can kind of sneak it out from under it. And now I'm even wondering, if I unbolt everything from the HVAC box, can I just kind of lay this forward? Is there enough slack in the harness already? That's how we learn, you know. It's my first 07 GX430, so I'm a rookie. I said it, you're right. I was gonna just find out where that goes, but it almost feels like it goes out the firewall or something. I don't think it does, because it wouldn't make any sense for assembly. So let's see. I might go down to these. I can't, it doesn't move, so it might be pushed onto the firewall. If I can find that connector, maybe I'll take this out 10 millimeter and probably another 10 somewhere else. Maybe I can see behind there. Alright, that was fun. Take this off. It's got connectors all around it, all over the place. There's tons of them. Faces like this. 2 nuts hold it. This one, you got to kind of release this catch, slide it back, and you can lift it off, and then you can get the 2 lever dealios out of there. And I think that's going to let me have that harness a little better. to get some stuff out of here. It's easy, man. 5.9 easy peasy hours. And one more connector here. I guess I could just squeeze it and pull it out of the bracket. That's what I'm working on over here. I think I can fit my, oh, there's the, by the way, squirrel. There's the bolt that you got to take the wiper cowl out for. That's it right there. You wouldn't want to have a nut on the other side and have a bolt go this way because they're putting it in as one assembly that's already together, right? We talked about it. Don't you remember? Can't believe I had to repeat that. That's done for assembly, not for repair. You're supposed to get a new car after 20 years. You're not supposed to fix it. No, seriously. They don't want you fixing it. I bought groceries Sunday on the subject of how much everything costs. It's been about 2 years since a raise, and the price of everything has gone up. We were very careful in the grocery store, and it was still $240 for the same stuff we always buy, and the prices have just gone up and up and up and up and up. So at some point something's got to give. You know, 5.9 hours in the labor guide for this kind of a job, and although I got them to give me a couple extra more hours, but honestly this should be a 15-hour job. I was going to throw a number out there right now at this point, because it's going to take me, what is it now, about 12. What time is it on the making it work clock? Oh, 12:30. Okay, it's 12:30. See the evaporator? You see it? Right there. It's almost right there. Close. Close to right there. Yeah, so at some point it's just like the percentages and the margins are right. The only thing this hurts is the gross numbers, because you're not producing while you're working on something that takes twice as long as it pays. But because it's flat rate, the profit is still good. Does that make sense? Because let's just say, for argument's sake, if you had charged $100 an hour at your shop and you paid the mechanic $25, you make $75 on every hour. So if you pay him 2 hours and something takes 10 hours, you still made $150 and paid him $50, or her. So your profit margin was still good. But your gross number is going to come down, because anytime you're working on stuff longer than it pays, it limits how much you can produce overall. So it still hurts the shop, just in different ways, not the gross profit way. So let's get the bolts out of the A-pillar. I don't have the mic on right now because I figure we're in close quarters and it's pretty slow. Not a lot of noises in the background. Alright, you gotta look it up, see how this thing's adjusted. I gotta unadjust it a little bit to get the tension off of it. 12mm hex. There's no spacers on that side, so you tighten that side and then adjust this so there's no slack. Put a little bit of tension on it. I guess. There's not a lot of information about it. I had to take all this off of here, unplug a bunch of connectors to get the other module out. There's two modules like this with connectors on both sides. I don't even know what it does. Some kind of steering. I think it's a steering module and a throttle module, and they kind of share responsibilities so that it's redundant, if that makes sense. Kind of like me, redundant. Alright, I think the other side might be hooked over there, and then this will lift up. Tent down here with a big washer. And I should be able to lift it out after that. Minus whatever connector might be connected in there somewhere. I don't see any, but that doesn't mean there aren't. That's funny. It's funny. It is funny. Boy, I sure hope there's dye all over when I get it out the rest of the way. Kill me, Toyota bro. There's dye all here, but still don't see it. You see this? That's dye, so I'm hungry. I'm gonna pop it off when I come back. Once that first cover's out of the way, then this is out of the way. That's unscrewed. You can slide the heater core out. The tubes are holding it. That's the dye issue we've got. It's all in the case. Okay, now I'm really gonna go eat. Starting to pull it apart. I gotta cut this open. I gotta use these lines. Got a new expansion valve. It's wrapped under this tape. New evaporator, of course. So you can see all the dye like I showed you. Because it's so complicated to get to and do, we're going to use the finest parts that a yen can buy, and it's going to be fine. Don't worry. Don't worry. Cut this. Whoop. That's not a knife. That's a flashlight. That's a knife. Just ask Crocodile Dundee. I guess I was wondering if I'd be able to reuse this, but I guess not, huh? I know I'm going to need the hardware, so we'll just go ahead and get it all opened up. I've got AC tape, which is like a rubbery tape just like this.
And then if it shakes and pulls to the left instead of to the right.
So we'll see if we can get the hardware out of here. And I need this line. I'm going to use this foam over though. So that's good. That's like a 4 or 5 millimeter Allen or something like that. I'm running out of room for tools and stuff. Let me turn this fan back on. Now Fast and Furious. It's an old ass Honda. Weird. I wasn't expecting them both to come off. I guess the bolts just passed through that. That's why they're so long. Let me clean this up. It's a little rusty. expansion valve is not getting reused. O-rings are not getting reused. You can actually buy a set of tools to help you pull those off of there. They got 4 or 5 different sizes for only a couple $100. Or use a free pocket screwdriver the gear wrench guy gave you. You got options. That's how I know mechanics just like buying tools, because you buy stuff you never would possibly ever need to buy. Now, O-rings. Where are we at? Alright, here we go. I got O-rings. I think these guys should be right. A little bit of refrigerant oil. I got 2 more O-rings for my new expansion valve. Sometimes the evaporator comes with them, but sometimes I'll usually change them out anyway, just in case, depending on how they look. It's gonna be more contrast this way, but now that's what I'm saying. Sealed. I like it. I saw videos popping up in my feed. One of them was painting your kitchen cabinets. And it was a scantily clad young lady kneeling on the counter in shorty shorts. 880,000 views. You guys, really disappointing. A little bit of refrigerant oil on there. It's only going to go on one way. I'm going to clean this bolt up. We'll come back. Clean them up on the wire wheel a little bit. Doesn't really matter, just makes me feel better. Got to give me some AC tape to wrap around here, and then we'll pull this foam back over it. The old kind of deal. AC tape, really, but it basically amounts to rubberized double-sided tape. This stuff might be kind of old, or maybe it's not designed to work like the one I'm used to. I don't know. Call out a win. I believe this is going to go like this and like that. This goes up here like this. I can see where this was squeezed right here. So that should be like that, which is going to put this around here. That is our evap temp sensor. So this should end up right around on when I mash it all back together. I'm going to clean some more of this dye out of here. I sprayed it a couple times already, but I got to spray it some more, try to get most of that dye out of here. There's some snaps that'll hold this in place while I get the screws started, I hope. That one. Top one, and then there's one in here. Now, these 3 screws I set aside for the actuator, and then I got 3 screws over here for this. But first I got to get the perimeter screws in this case. I also sprayed some brake clean in the drain hole where this goes on the floor over the transmission. I'm never going to get all that dye out of there. It looks like it's been charged 5 or 6 times with Doyle dye. Hard to say, but there's oil dye everywhere. If you guys saw the last video, the whole transmission looks like it's leaking refrigerant. And since there's no refrigerant in the transmission, I knew we were onto something. I try to keep screws for this process in little piles. So if I use up all the screws I had in my big pile for the cover, I know I've gotten them all and haven't missed one. Now this little arm, you have to pull it out of the way to slide the heater core out. I got my wiring back in, tucked under here. I don't know why they do it, but I know one thing. Lexus knows more about this car than I do. I don't even think I'm half as smart as these guys. Push that in, this actuator drops, or the linkage, what do you want to call it? The gear that's on the linkage drops, the door, whatever. This is the gear that turns it. It's got to get clocked in here. Hopefully this is right. Gotta admit, I'm a little nervous about the whole situation. I don't know how easy this is to get to if I have to adjust something, but I'm guessing not easy at all. This is where the blower case is going to be. So the radio and everything's right here. And there's a piece that goes on top of this that I removed to get back here for that connector, but I'm going to snap that on like last. It's the last thing. That should do that, and this cover is going to go on after I bolt that actuator in. 3 little Phillips screws. I'm not using a power tool on purpose. I always find these 20-year-old plastic HVAC housings are fragile. I'd probably save a little time, but it's 5.9 hours plus the 2-hour bogey. We're fine. I don't need to rush. Alright, that's all cleaned up. Well, no it's not. Now it's all cleaned up. Can't forget about this connector here. It's still over here because these are separated. So once I get it bolted back together, I gotta reach under there and connect that, and this little tab gets plugged in there too. We'll be alright. I hope we'll be alright. It sits down a little tray on the other side of the box there, and there's a screw goes in here and here, and I think there's a couple from underneath because I got 4 left, so I know about those 2. Those 2 screws are missing from here and here. No screws left. Those aren't for the HVAC box though. That's why I use 2 separate trays, just for that purpose. I know this is all back together. This is a little wobbly though. I mean, you can wiggle it around a little bit, but it goes in a hinge on the bottom. You kind of drop it in the hinge and then snap that up. And there's a couple of screws that I took out that I didn't have to. We're learning. Now if I can get this back in here, what I'll do is I'll put the nut on the bottom but not tighten it up too much until I get the brace in and get those other bolts that hold the HVAC and the metal brace together, and then I'll tighten up the one on the floor here afterwards. And that's the piece that goes on top before we put the plastic cover back on it. Let's grab our box and shove it in. I think it'll fit. Even if we're remotely optimistic, it's still gonna fit, I think. Hose ports. Make sure nothing's caught under it. How silly this is. You silly guys. There you go. I got my nut with my big washer goes here. Like I said, I'm just gonna put it on a few turns and not tighten it yet. You guys do me a favor, remind me. Now I can't snap this on here yet because I still got to hook up the harness, and the harness isn't hooked up to anything yet. So the brace is next.
And that is the center of that.
Now this is designed for a robot to put in and drop it on those guide pins in about 30 seconds or so. Don't hit the glass. Oh, this has to go behind the case too. Another reason I didn't want to tighten it yet. Now these also razor blades. So if you grab it and try to push it, nope, that's bad. I might need to get a screwdriver and pop the case forward if it won't go on its loneliness here. Yeah, I gotta get a screwdriver because I'm not gonna cut my hands doing it. I'm just gonna pop that over and then we'll come back. I got the easy tab over the heater box. I didn't get the hard one yet. I might need to take that off of the firewall and attach that part later because all of this kind of wants to yeah, this is all, it's really meant to be disassembled on a workbench like I said earlier. Said I wouldn't bring it up again, didn't I? It's really meant to be done on a workbench. Completely serious. It's not meant to do it this way, but I really do think it's easier because I don't have a gigantic workbench for a whole dash to come apart on a workbench. I'm guessing they have some kind of a jig or tool to hold it. Things are lining up. Now you are definitely in erector set territory right now. This is more than just a little silly. I'm gonna start getting this wiring harness kind of laid in place. Make sure before I go too far that everything's kind of where it goes. This all goes down to the steering motor behind the brace. Now when I get close, all of a sudden some of this stuff is going to make sense, and it's going to line up with 4 or 5 slots down the top. That's how I know I'm in the right spot. I think this one goes here. This is going to go on back. See, it all kind of makes sense now. And a lot of these connectors were to that control panel in the center. And then the airbags and those 2 modules on the sides. It's easy, see? I'm gonna spend a good 30 minutes or so getting this wire harness back where it goes. Now this one in Bandcamp. About 1986, February or so, I think it was. Story time. Someone's got to get the work done around here. I got it. You guys hang out. It's all good. All right, I got the bottom bolt, the bolts that hold the case in the front, the upper bolt, got my modules in. All those 10mm bolts are tight. There's one on the bottom here that goes to a brace on the case. So we're close. Obviously it's not going to be done tonight, but I'm going to put the machine on and get it back down. I buttoned up the outside, got the heater hoses, the AC lines back in. I'm going to let this thing sit on a vacuum overnight. I won't have the machine running the whole time, but it'll be on a vacuum, and that any moisture that's in there percolates. gets pulled into the machine. I'll turn it on for a few minutes in the morning. I'm just giving it a once over. I got to tighten this dash up too. I got these adjusters. I turned them with my 12 till it got kind of snug. And these bolts might help too. I'm not sure if these bolts help tighten them if they need to. That other one turned about a quarter of a turn as I tightened it. I don't want any squeaking or weird noises, so I need to get my plastic caps for those. Then I'll think we'll try to put that plastic in. Fast and Furious. Oh, that was a Saturn versus a Lexus. They're racing. Smooth move, X-Lax. Yeah, see, it's easy. Yeah, that's a big deal. It's easy. Basically almost done. Alright, maybe not almost done, but the dash is kind of set on. I still got to set this side on, but I want to get the speaker wire pulled up in there. Matter of fact, now I'm looking at these bolts. The windshield right here. I may plug the speaker in, bolt it down, and then slide it in that last little bit. Not like it's terribly hard. I just mostly right now making sure no wires are flipped to the wrong side. I gotta move them somewhere else. Trying to remember where they go. I don't really. 2007 too. This is almost 20 years old. So people think they only just recently started making them hard to work on. There's no consideration for repairs in almost anything made since about 1995. I think I talked about that last week. So moving on. This connector seems to want to go in here. Heck yeah, this thing is flying together. It practically installs itself at this point. Got most of my screws and nuts in here. I think there's a couple in here I gotta look. I'm trying to figure out, I don't know why I'm thinking this harness might need to go that way. But what I'll do now is, if I have a doubt like that, I'll get the stereo, or I'll get the, what do you want to call that thing? The monstrosity, and I'll see how many plugs are in the back and about how many I have here, see if we're close. If I have 4 connectors too many, then I know it goes over that way, because I don't know why I'm thinking it does. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to look at the head unit and monstrosity and see. That is, I got 12 connectors in the back of the head unit monstrosity dealio. So I know this goes over here, because I realize this looks like the cluster connector. And it also fits in the snap and the connector up here at the vent. This goes right here in this little tab here. Most of the stuff is going to work like that, where you just can't remember. If you kind of lay it somewhere and all of a sudden you'll see where the clips and stuff are going to fit, and that's how you remember. It's not that you have a photographic memory on this kind of stuff. There's just too much to remember it all. Some of it I'll be like, oh yeah, I remember that one. But like antennas. So we got 6 right here. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And these go to a cool spot too that I have to find. We'll figure it out. Well, you guys forward we're gonna get for today. We're gonna finish this thing up in the morning. Starting to close the shop up. Ryan went home sick today. Jay slept at 4:30, and the other guys are out moving cars off the grass, because tomorrow is lawn mowing day, and it's been raining, so the grass has been growing. I'm wore out. This dash work mode, it's not like you whippersnappers. It's a piece of cake for you guys. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Hope you got something from it. Maybe you'll torque the like button on the way out, even though the glare is tremendous. Oh, look, the other window. Most important thing though, really, all kidding aside, I hope I see another video, because you're awesome.